The 2020 Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series kicked off in the Deep South with two-time former champion Cole Armstrong taking victory over Dave Steedman at Te Ratonga.
Wow. Say it again. Wow. The big boy's back, eh? How does that feel?
Absolutely awesome, man. I'm pumped. I lost a bit of enthusiasm in these off-season with building these cars, work and everything, but this just brings it back, brings it all back.
It's off the chains, man, like dreaming of a Team DSR 1-2, so close. You know, this off-season's been real hard. We've been working around the clock. Just stoked that we got some results, you know, to really boost that motivation again.
Round one also brought us a new rising star. Taylor James, the young gun from Tokoroa, stepping up from the restricted class and scoring his first ever podium in the Pro Series.
Yeah, amazing how we come down sort of in our heads. If we could qualify in the top 10, I'd be over the moon. And, you know, to end up in top 3, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Round two of the championship brought us back to the North Island. The infamous Pukekohe Park Raceway playing trickster once again. Jesse Greenslade might have been in for a wild ride, but Australian drift champ Jake Jones decided to ejecto-seat his front windscreen. The round was another test of machinery, with bad luck and mechanical issues having an effect on most of the field. Team DSR and the Armstrong Drift team having their share of engine dramas.
Good old Pukekohe's awesome, love this track, but yeah, developed a little bit of a misfire, which is really frustrating, so the boys have been hard at it, trying to fix that.
We put our whole life, heart and soul and everything into this sport, and it's motor racing. You just have to take it on the chin, get back on that horse and come back fighting. You know, I've set myself a hard goal. We want to win again, you know. This is what we're here for. We're not here to, you know, play cards. We're here to put it on the line, so I'll be back out there.
The main event brought plenty of aggression from the young guns. 2018 Pro Sport Drift King Liam Burke bringing the 2JZ heat into the finals. Third place was a win for the circuit ace Danon Templeman, his E46 BMW mixing up the leaderboard.
Yeah, nice way to redeem ourselves, you know. It's nice to finish on the podium, and hats off to my dad, you know, he's my spotter, and my mum and my kids and my wife in the stands. Thanks to my boys, you know. We've got just a small group of guys in that, and you know, we're just a family-run team. You know, we sponsor ourselves, and you know, Shane, my main man, maintains the car and that. So it's nice to give them a result.
The final was a first-time duel between the master and apprentice. The boys from Northland locking out the top spots with plenty of carnage. Thangadan in the V8 Ford Mustang RTR taking home another trophy.
Yeah, Liam, yeah, like I say, he's a good bloke, and we got down there to try and help him fix his car. He's helped me fix mine over the years, and he was part of my crew, so I didn't want to win this way. I really wanted to help him get out there and put on a show and, you know, teach him some more tricks.
Round 3 of the series took us to the Bay of Plenty, where Trustpower Stadium cranked up the championship fight to 11. Thangadan and Cole Armstrong would meet early in the top 16, with Armstrong moving through to battle Darren Kelly. The Heart of Racing R35 GTR returning to the series with third place on the podium.
Yeah, not the way that we want to win. Unfortunately for Carl, having a mechanical like that, that's never the way you want to go out. But yeah, it's great to be back, and yeah, stoked that we could get on the podium.
It was a hard luck story for Carl Thompson in the Genesis massive V8 powered S15. His shot at the podium taken away with a failing clutch. Thompson a wildcard for the 2020 title fight with 2 pole positions under his belt. The final at Bay Park was a battle for the new school. Liam Burke and Taylor James going head to head for a shot in their first ever win in the pro class. The Roundwood RB powered Sylvia inching out the 2JZ S13. Taylor James bagging a round victory of points for his first ever pro championship campaign.
You have done it, mate. You are a round winner for round 3 of the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, big feat for us to come into here, and like, you know, me and Liam a couple of years ago in pro sport, and awesome battles. Yeah, it's the best time I've had driving for a long time.
Yeah, absolute hats off to Taylor. His second time on the podium in pro, absolutely insane. A lot of controversial battles for me up to this point, but it's been awesome. And thank you to the crowd. That was awesome cheering.
With 3 events run and done, we now reach the penultimate stage of the 2020 series. For the first time ever, we go sideways through the doors at Auckland's ASB Showgrounds. Who will dare to tame the Titan Technical custom course as we break out of lockdown? Valvoline New Zealand presents round 4 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.
Welcome to round 4 of the Valvoline D1NZ Championship, live inside the ASB Showgrounds. It's a bit of history because this is the first major motorsport event back after lockdown. Let's bring in Stevie Daniel, the lead commentator for D1NZ. Mate, how nuts is this?
This is absolutely crazy. Can you believe they've done it? We're turning the concrete that would normally have a food show into a drifting venue for the first time in New Zealand.
All right, I've talked to a lot of drivers because you're going through 2 halls, scrubbed concrete, polished concrete. They're saying they're loving it because it's technical.
It's very technical, and of course, having to go under a bridge with a $300,000 TRS on top.
Yeah, I know. That's a beautiful little FT60 from the Toyota Racing Series. But talk to me from a perspective of seeing all the drifting you've done. How bonkers is this?
It's madness. We're talking about the lighting conditions, the concrete. We're talking the shiny surfaces, a bit of grip, no grip. It's who knows what's going to happen today.
Drifting is a sideways evolution from traditional motorsports. Each driver competes for points given out by a select panel of judges. The 3 major scoring criteria are line, angle and style. Together they form a score out of 100. Line is a racing line marked out by clipping zones. Drivers need to consistently hit these areas to score maximum points. Angle is how much rear slip angle a car produces. Drivers need to engage and maintain as much opposite steering lock as possible to receive a higher score. Style is a combination of fluidity, impact and commitment. Points are scored for the use of speed, momentum and throttle control to attack the scoring areas. Using as little handbrake as possible, competitors need to find the balance between smooth, aggressive movement while pushing the limits of their driving abilities and the confidence in their vehicle. Teams and drivers have 2 laps in qualifying to start the competition. From here they move into tandem eliminations, where the top qualifiers form a seeded battle tree. A drift battle requires each driver to take turns leading and chasing. The lead driver's objective is to match or better their performance in qualifying. The chase driver's objective is to get as close as possible to the leading car while also maintaining scoring criteria. The 2020 D1NZ season kicked off with a new lineup of judging officials. Returning as line judge is South Island drifting veteran Mark O'Hara with 35 points up for grabs. Based out of Christchurch, Mark has been drifting for over 13 years, both in grassroots and in competition. The Southern flavour continues with former D1NZ pro driver Joel Counter joining the series as angle judge for the 2020 season. Joel's seen plenty of competition over 7 years piloting a Nissan S14, as well as being crowned a 2 times Drift South Series champion. Our final judge for the weekend has been a long-time friend of pit lane and father of Liam Honor, one of the youngest ever drivers to compete in the D1NZ series. Based out of Taranaki, Ross Honor will join a team as style judge with 30 points to dish out. Ross has served as a former D1NZ judge and represented New Zealand overseas with over 20 years experience developing and tuning drift cars around the world. And that is the judging lineup for this weekend, the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series.
Yes, but it's also very important to have the judge, their lead judge, Brendan Dunker, right with me, to just go through a couple of things. What fascinates me is when you saw the concept of going indoors and outdoors, or so to speak, what did you think when you think, how the hell are we going to judge this?
Yeah, definitely. And the first thing that comes to mind is how are we going to handle the amount of smoke which is going to build up in here? What are we going to do with the fumes? Are we going to have enough room? And the first thing that hit me when I came in here was I was actually surprised how big the stadium is and what an awesome situation we've got here. Then the next thing that hit me is we've got doors which are only 5.5, 6 metres wide, and we've got 4.5 metre cars. How are we going to get them through sideways, let alone 2 of them at a time?
I'm looking across that FT60, and it's like they're going under that little FT60. Yeah. I mean, is that a part of the judging there, or is that just get through there, boys?
And that's it, but there is actually a very technical element to that. We need the guys sideways through there. If they're running through too straight, they run the risk of gripping up, and these guys need to be sideways throughout this whole judge section. If they run straight and lose their drift, it's a big fat zero for them.
Actually, I've spoken to a couple of the guys about that. They said, we're not even worried about it. We just got nose forward. So you'd like to hear that, right? Yep. Eyes forward, forget about what's going on behind me.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Well, we are out of lockdown. It's the penultimate round of the Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series. Round 4 of the 2020 season being held in Auckland at one of the most iconic event venues. ASB Showground, normally home of the Easter show, trade show, car show, food shows, perhaps an unlikely place to find a pro drift car sliding through the doorways as we bring the D1NZ action indoors once again. Round 4 brings us the Gauntlet, a big test of driver skill here this weekend, a very short run-up from the start box with an outside clip on the right-hand side to start the course. Judges will be looking for aggression straight off the entry, holding as much angle as possible in a fluid arc through the next outer clip 2 on the right-hand side. Keeping the momentum and fluidity for a smooth arc to the outer clip 3, again on the right-hand side. From here, drivers will tighten their line over to inner clip 4, in fact, the only inner clip for round 4, getting the front end of the car as close as possible. Judges will want to see a fast switch through the doors here at ASB Showgrounds into the next hall. Another quick transition out of clip 5 on the outside, again maintaining a smooth arc through the next outer clip 6 on the right-hand side. From here, drivers will switch again, finding the best line to set an attack for outside clip 7. The trick will be making sure the car doesn't stall or slow too much before putting the hammer down for a smooth line through to the final outer clip 8 and across the finish line. This is a unique, tight and technical course, a big test on drivers and the teams getting these cars to operate on polished concrete. Finding the grip balance and the right diff ratio will be the key. 8 scoring zones to deal with, 7 of which are outside clips. A lot of concrete walls to deal with. The doorways here are only 6 metres wide. A lot of driver input required to muscle these cars around the Gauntlet. It's round 4 of the 2020 Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series.
Well, the action is about to heat up for round 4. It's the penultimate round. Do join us after the break with qualifying from round 4.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Only a tyre should smoke. Buy all your vaping needs at nzvapor.com or in store. Find your nearest location on our website. NZ Vapor, proudly made in New Zealand since 2012.
The latest range of ECUs from Link Engine Management have arrived. G4X. Logging across 250 channels, an increased sampling rate and more memory means you can capture more data more accurately. To see the new G4X range, visit linkecu.com.
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.
Welcome back to the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series, round number 4, the Gauntlet, ASB Showgrounds. Let's have a look at the highlights from qualifying.
Well, Steve, the clipping points were getting an absolute smashing over the weekend, especially from the pro sport guys. Dan out in qualifying, and he got crucified despite smashing those outer clips by the judges. A score of 60, around 60 thereabouts in both of his runs. Position 15, one of his worst ever qualifying results. And talking about drama in qualifying, Taylor James, our championship leader.
The Rauma New Zealand S14 hitting the inside as he came through underneath that $300,000 Toyota TRS. Taylor James, his score was 3 points in his first run. Lots of work to do.
The judges were absolutely critical on this tight and technical custom concrete course here at ASB Showgrounds. Taylor James able to get the car away and back to the pits and repaired for a second pass in qualifying. And in fact, he managed to get inside the top 10 and hang on to some championship points.
A lot better as he goes underneath the bridge this time here at ASB Showgrounds, round number 4, the Gauntlet. And what a gauntlet it's been for a lot of these drivers out here on track. 74.5, position 10, Taylor James.
Taylor was doing a fantastic job pedaling this machine around, of course, with that drama in the first half of the qualifying session. So we take a look at Dave Steedman in the Mimico S14. Bashing the limiter all weekend was Dave Steedman from Team DSR, doing it for the Bay of Plenty. Plenty of flames out of this machine. The Max Mufflers certainly putting on a show with a 75.5 on the board, good enough for 9th place.
As we welcome back the People's Champion, Mr. NRD Nico Reid, turning up in the championship. No one expected him, and he's setting the pace in the tunny far out.
Absolutely smashing the walls, the bumper dragging off the car. This isn't his usual car, and you know, this is a bit of a missile spec car, but absolutely perfect for this kind of course. A 75.5 on the board for Nico Reid, 8th place in qualifying.
Well, another man we welcome back to the championship in the Joe's Mechanical Nissan S15, Ben Wilkinson, putting the power down on that monster RB32 power plant under the bonnet.
Great to see Ben Wilkinson back in action here for round 4, and a new livery on the car as well, a new paint job, and he was one of the drivers that was stacking on a lot of angle in his runs, and that boded him well for the qualifying result of 78 in the qualifying session, good enough for position number 7.
Well, here's a Pro Sport car out here in the pros, the Green Room vodka machine. You'd normally see campaigning a GT86 Toyotas galore on this side. We've had big issues for Ben Jenkins having to switch over to Calvin Clark's little S13.
Yeah, jumping into a borrowed car, 78.5, good enough for position number 6 in the Pardo Entertainment Green Room Vodka S13. Ben Jenkins doing a great job despite being in a borrowed car. And another guy who was not in his car that he wanted to drive in, and that's Adam Davies. He's back in the 13B powered 180 SX. He had the 20B 3-rotor out in the practice sessions, but decided to step back into the 13B, setting an 81.5, the only rotary in the Pro Championship, tagging the wall just on the exit.
Well, this guy has been driving like an animal all season. He missed round 1, but he's certainly been setting the pace since he's been back from round 2. It's Liam Burke in the Kiesel Nissan S13 getting the 2JZ powered down as he fires it under the bridge.
The man from Northland certainly putting on a good drive here with Taylor James down the qualifying order. It was all up to Liam Burke to try get up into that top 5 and grab another handful of championship points. All important as we head into the grand final at Pukekohe Park Raceway.
Well, another 2 times New Zealand Drift King. It's the Butaline Plumbing Systems G36 Skyline. Cole Armstrong behind the wheel. Cole certainly enjoying the track conditions here, changing, but he's a man who certainly can make the change into different track conditions.
Yeah, that's right. He's certainly an adaptable driver and certainly putting on that big 4-door sedan swing, smashing those outer clipping points. The Butaline Skyline doing an absolutely fantastic job. Good enough for P3, an 87-point score on the board. Cole Armstrong, a former champion, looking to show his skill set on the Titan Technical course.
Carl Thompson, the next to taste the track conditions here at ASB Showgrounds, under lights, indoors, and certainly struggling with the amount of horsepower, 1,000 horsepower down for Carl. That's where he likes to be, billowing smoke. It's a lot tighter for him, Kenny.
Yeah, tagging the wall on that outer zone there. These guys are getting up close and personal with the concrete, swapping paint, swapping a bit of vinyl and fiberglass. Carl Thompson, 87.5, position number 2 on the board as we head into our pole position winner for the Panhead Rat Rod. Pole position, and it is none other than Darren Kelly making his return to D1NZ in the heart of racing R35 GTR.
Darren Kelly, that monster RB power plant. He'll be setting the score down there, top qualifier today. ASB Showgrounds round 4, the Gauntlet. It's certainly been a gauntlet for most, but not for Darren Kelly.
It's such a hard job to actually muscle these big horsepower motorsport machines around. You're talking about just over a tonne or 1,300 kgs of motorsport weaponry around here. A 92 on the board, just shy of the qualifying record. Darren Kelly, P1.
Great job of Darren Kelly in first place, though. There's a few other cars in there. Ben Jenkins, borrowed car, Kenny.
Yeah, good to see Ben Jenkins still in the competition despite mechanical dramas in practice. Nico Reid, the People's Champ, in there in the top 10 as well. And look at the scores, look at the grouping of these guys. Absolutely close competition here this weekend for round 4.
Well, we've got a P1 qualifier who has had a flawless 2 runs, 88 and then a 92. Darren, you look like you've been on point from the get-go.
Yeah, it's really hard with this type of track. It takes a lot of constant changing. The track's changing every time we go out, so it's just about trying to predict what it's going to be like. And yeah, we've made a few setup changes today and they seem to be working well.
What gear are you getting stuck in? Some saying you aren't going too high.
No, I'm actually running a really long diff ratio and only using first and second gear here, so not what we're used to either, and it seems to be working well, so it just helps to be able to control the wheel speed a bit easier and keep the car in boost being a turbo car.
Well, it's time now for the last dash in the top 24 to get into the top 16. Jaron Olive-Kroner will take on Troy Jenkins. A number of buy runs here this weekend. Dan Mulhouse will take on Geordie Cole, and Cody Pullenbury back in action up against Jesse Greenslade.
Well, it's the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship, the Gauntlet, round 4, ASB Showgrounds. There's Troy Jenkins in the Toyotas Galore GT86 getting chased down by Jaron Olive-Kroner in the Parts Trader NZ Nissan S14.
Jaron Olive-Kroner in the big V12 Harley engines and motorsport, chasing down that 2JZ out in front. It was a great drive from the pair of them. Troy Jenkins running the front bar off the car after an incident in practice. Jaron Olive-Kroner on his lead run, putting on a pretty commanding drive, getting right out to those outer clips, smashing it with the Flamingo off the rear wing, and Jaron Olive-Kroner would do enough to get through into the top 16.
Now I know that makes you very happy.
Mate, that makes me so very happy, it's unreal.
I mean, this twin turbo V12 has been a hell of a thing to get a handle on. What's it like in here, particularly in a battle?
Man, trying to tame 1,000 horsepower is very hard in battle, yeah. But it's good fun, you know, I'm getting to grips with it, feathering that throttle.
Next battle will see the Ford Mustang RTR Spec 5D by Century Batteries in Castro, New Zealand. Fanger Dan Mulhouse behind the wheel. He's going up against Geordie Cole in the Coastal Spa and Pool FC RX-7. Big mistake, straight line, and that is going to put a huge advantage in the way of Fanger Dan.
Yeah, Fanger Dan taking a big advantage there with Geordie Cole, basically almost spinning out there and managed to recover out of it, but it was just too much of a mistake. Fanger Dan coming in with a chase run here. Geordie Cole trying to redeem himself with a good line heading through the second half of the course, but Fanger Dan right there hanging off the rear quarter and pushing through into the top 16.
I knew you'd be happy about that one.
Oh, definitely. You know, I know Geordie's had some problems with his car and he had to take a bit of grip out, which when you're coming up against this thing, you know, it's pretty fast and it's got a whole lot of ponies under this bonnet. So, yeah, bring on the next battles.
Cody Pullenbury taking on Jesse Greenslade, a pair of Nissan Silvias, 2JZ out in front, followed by a big power RB30. Jesse Greenslade, though, getting things all wrong in the NZ Girls S15, making a big mistake in the second half of the course. Cody Pullenbury coming in with aggression straight out of the start box, getting right up on the rear quarter in his second pass. Jesse Greenslade trying to fill that outer zone, but Cody Pullenbury was lurking right there.
Flying under the bridge here at ASB Showgrounds, the Gauntlet round 4 of the Valvoline D1NZ. Jesse Greenslade will do a great job up front, but it's going to be the mistakes, I'm sure, that are going to mean that Cody Pullenbury will take the win. Coming out of the final turn, Jesse Greenslade in the NZ Girls. Oh, and a big attack to the concrete. That will surely see Cody Pullenbury getting given the 3 strikes. Stick around after the break. Valvoline D1NZ action continues.
Only a tyre should smoke. Buy all your vaping needs at nzvapor.com or in store. Find your nearest location on our website. NZ Vapor, proudly made in New Zealand since 2012.
The latest range of ECUs from Link Engine Management have arrived. G4X. Logging across 250 channels, an increased sampling rate and more memory means you can capture more data more accurately. To see the new G4X range, visit linkecu.com.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.
Welcome back to the D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series. We're into the top 16 and things are heating up on track, although the track conditions are cold here, aren't they, Steve?
Yeah, the temperature on track is cold, but the action on top of it is hot. Valvoline New Zealand brings us the Gauntlet, and let's have a look at the battles. Darren Kelly will go up against Jaron Oliver-Kroner. Nico Reid goes up against Dave Steedman. Liam Burke will take on Bruce Tannock, and Adam Davies will go up against Kurt Blackie.
On the other side of the tree, it's Carl Thompson taking on Dan Woolhouse. Ben Wilkinson will take on Taylor James. Cole Armstrong will take on Cody Pullenbury. Ben Jenkins lining up against Michael Fawley.
Well, straight into action, it's top 16 time, the Gauntlet, ASB Showgrounds, and it is the harder racing GTR of Darren Kelly who leads out Jaron Oliver-Kroner. Oliver-Kroner, a great win in his last battle, goes through to take on the two-time Drift King.
Darren Kelly making a return to the series, running the wing off the car here this weekend, smashes the outer clip. And look at Jaron Oliver-Kroner right there, hungry in the chase position. It's going to be interesting to see how the judges call this, with running a little bit shallow and a little bit shallow in angle, but what a drive from Jaron Oliver-Kroner in the first pass. Second pass here now, top 16.
The Parts Trader NZ Nissan S14 of Jaron Oliver-Kroner, the Monster V12 under the bonnet, twin turbo, starting to form a little bit of a gap between himself and Darren Kelly, but here comes Darren Kelly on his way back again. Certainly lucky that I am not a judge.
I'll tell you what, mate, he gave you a hell of a battle there.
Yeah, he put on a pretty good lead and chase by the looks of it from where I was sitting. But yeah, good to come away with the win, and yeah, hopefully we get a few more battles like that.
As the D1NZ welcomes back the People's Champion, Mr. NRD himself, Nico Reid, in the tunny far out. He's going up against Dave Steedman.
Dave Steedman squirming in the chase there, but maintaining angle, putting the loud pedal down with flames, just shooting out of this car all night long. Second pass was another great drive from Nico Reid in the chase position. A little bit underpowered, but Dave Steedman setting a great drive out in front of that Mimico S14. He was hungry to get inside the top 8. A little bit of a mistake there for Nico Reid. Drops a wheel, and that's going to hurt him. Dave Steedman moving through into the top 8.
Dave Steedman, you just took a big sigh of relief there. That was a hell of a battle.
Oh, that was intense. So sick. It's so awesome to be inside this this Showgrounds arena that they've put together. It's mad.
Absolutely mad driving from Team DSR as we take a look at our championship contender, Liam Burke, lurking in the top 5 of the championship and leading out Bruce Tannock. Bruce Tannock, though, locking himself out in the first pass and just getting things all wrong in the second half of the section.
Well, the Magnum Turbo S13 of Bruce Tannock will lead out Liam Burke. Liam Burke's been driving like an animal every single round this season, and nothing has changed here at ASB Showgrounds as Liam Burke tucks himself inside the guards of the Magnum Turbo Nissan S13.
Bruce Tannock just not quite filling those outer zones in the second half of the section. It opens the door for Liam Burke and the Triple 8 machine to take a victory through to the top 8.
You know, Triple 8 racing in supercars is pretty good. The Triple 8 drifting's not too bad either.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Bruce always lays down a nice, clean run to follow. Awesome to follow, Bruce. Love it.
Well, a battle of a couple of Tauranga locals. It's Adam Davies in the Ryko 24/7 Mimico 180 getting chased down by the NZ Flooring LS GT86 of Kurt Blackie.
But a V8 versus rotary battle here. Kurt Blackie just squirming on the second half of the section. That's going to get him marked down as we take a look at the second pass here. And Adam Davies straight out of the gate and straight up on that rear quarter.
Well, work to do from Kurt Blackie as he leads out the other Tauranga driver. Coming through to the end of the section, though, who will it be? I think it's going to be a clear win to Adam Davies.
Well, Adam, one might suggest on the back of that and the way the judges were taking their time to make a decision, that was closer than you thought.
Yeah, I had a feeling it would be close. I could see him on my door, so hats off to Kurt. Did a bloody good chase, and I had to work for that one, that's for sure.
Well, Fangadan was battling from a poor qualifying result, and unfortunately things fell away from him in the first half of the section here for his first run in the top 16 against Carl Thompson, the battle of the big V8 heavyweights. And Fangadan disadvantaged in the first run with a big correction as they fire through into the second haul. Carl Thompson, though, putting that monster power down to that polished concrete and setting an absolutely awesome run out in front. Fangadan trying to recover some points.
Well, Fanger, a lot of work to do if he's going to take the win. We know it's a big advantage for Carl Thompson into the chase position, transitioning through into the second haul at ASB Showgrounds. Fanger Dan looks smooth and precise up front, but that mistake is going to be all she wrote with Carl Thompson moving through into the top 8.
What a rush, mate. You are on point tonight at the moment. Hey, how good does this feel?
It feels really good. Like, I've had a few niggles in practice, and yeah, qualifying didn't do my best, but Fang is like one of the dopest dudes to drive against. I don't get this rush too often.
Well, let's move on to our next battle in the top 16. It's Ben Wilkinson, who's fresh back to the D1NZ, taking on Taylor James, the man who leads the championship in the round with New Zealanders and S14.
Great to see Benjay Wilkie drift back in action, leading out our championship leader. Taylor James, of course, bouncing back after issues in qualifying. Managed to qualify in 10th place and now trying to fight his way into the top 8 and extend his championship lead. A fantastic chase run in the first pass.
Let's go to the second pass with Taylor James leading out Ben Wilkinson again. Joe's Mechanical S15 having a little bit of work to do. You can see a gap starting to form between himself and Taylor James.
Taylor James just feeding a little bit of left foot there. You'll see the front brake light strip illuminated, but that is enough for Taylor through into the top 8.
Well, you're not the championship leader for nothing. I was a bit concerned after your qualifying, but that makes up for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I guess doing that in qualifying does affect your confidence in it. But that was good. It was a few little mistakes that we'll try and brush up on for the next one. But yeah, more than happy to get the win.
I tell you what, he was all over you on that chase, wasn't he?
He was. I could hear his car hard up on me, but no, we got the win, so we're happy.
Taylor James moving through to the top 8, and those clipping points are just continuously getting smashed here this weekend. The Valvoline G36 Skyline taking on Cody Pullenburry, trying to fend off an attack from the young gun. Was the former two-time champion, but Colt Armstrong unable to capitalise on a chase run here. He got nice and close in proximity, but Cody Pullenburry just forcing a mistake out of Cole Armstrong in the second half of the section.
You just fended off Cole Armstrong. I don't think you can believe that yourself, can you?
Nah, that's not what I thought was coming. I was already in first, ready to take off, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, mate, another big upset tonight. You put Cole Armstrong in the bin.
I don't know what to say, bro.
Go and enjoy it, buddy. Go and enjoy it. There's more to come.
Armstrong, the 2 times champion, out of competition in the top 16 as we move to the next battle. And it's the Green Room Vodka Nissan S13, Calvin Clark's car. Ben Jenkins, though, will be behind the wheel after issues in warm-up in his GT86.
Yeah, that's right. Not an unfamiliar car, although actually it's a familiar car. He did campaign in S13 during his campaign in the Pro Sport Development Series, putting on a pretty good lead run here, holding the advantage against Michael Thorley. Thorley trying to claw back some points in that NZ 180SX, but check out the chase run from Ben Jenkins through to the top 8.
Not bad for a borrowed drive.
This is a spectacular car from Calvin, a good friend of mine's let me use that after the Toyota's Glow 86. A little mishap, so we're out, but I'm just stoked. Thank you so much to Calvin. This is an amazing little car, and let's just see how far we can take it, Steve.
Well, it's the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship top 8 time. Darren Kelly will go up against Dave Steadman. Liam Burke will take on Adam Davies. Carl Thompson goes up against Taylor James. And Cody Pullenburry will take on Ben Jenkins.
A great lineup in the top 8 and a few heavyweights already knocked out here at the Gauntlet. It is a test of man and machine to throw these big, heavy motorsport machines around. Normally see them thrashing it at 200 kilometres an hour on this race circuits, but now the likes of two-time former champion Darren Kelly and that Heart of Racing R35 GTR trying to fend off an attack from Dave Steedman.
Steedman in the Ryco 24/7 Mimico Nissan S14 absolutely smashing the limiter. We go back to the second half of the battle between these two drivers, and it is Dave Steedman's turn this time to lead out Darren Kelly. Kelly, though, really closing the door.
Kelly just trying to close right up on that A-pillar, but I think it might hurt him a little bit here. I think Steedman might actually hold on to a bit of a line here, and the judges are going to call in favour of Dave Steedman.
First words from Dave Steedman. Did I win? Yes, you did.
Oh, I've lost for words, honestly. You know, I actually don't know if I don't think I've beaten Darren before, and you know, he's a top competitor. That battle was off the hook. Right on his door the whole way. I don't know where he was, but I was just doing my thing out there and absolutely loving it.
Mate, the way he's been driving, that is the upset of the night.
Oh, yeah. Bring on some more.
All right, let's bring on some more.
And some more you'll get with Liam Burke and the Kiesel Nissan S13 taking on the teammate It's Adam Davies in the second of the Ryco 24/7 Mimico entries. Bit of a mistake there for Adam Davies coming through outside the bridge.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake, and it's just unsettled the car a little bit. He's tried to recover through the second half of the section here, trying to get up on that rear quarter. What a chase through the end of the section there for Adam Davies in the 13B rotary powered machine. Now he is leading out in that second half. Oh, tags the wall, does Adam Davies, and Liam Burke doing a fantastic job in the chase to just maintain some angle and keep the fluidity up. Liam Burke chasing his way into the top four.
Well, Triple Eight keeps on rolling. How did that feel?
Oh, that was awesome. As you can see, Adam is just awesome to follow. He's always consistent. He did hit the wall there, but up until then, he was going so well. Just love battling Adam, and I think that is my first time that I've actually beaten Adam. So that might be the third or fourth time, so yeah.
Drivers get a feel sometimes when they know they're on. You got that feeling right now?
On that chase run, I started to get that feeling, but we can definitely push a lot harder. So I know I can push myself way harder.
Well, here's two more drivers pushing themselves. One's going to push pretty damn hard as well. Taylor James, our current series leader, chasing down Carl Thompson in the big horsepower Nissan S15.
Bit of a David and Goliath horsepower battle here, but on the polished concrete surface, it's kind of a leveler as Carl Thompson in the 666 gets right out to those outer clips, but Taylor James hanging right there with plenty of angle, trying to get up on the door of Carl Thompson in his first, but Thompson tagging the wall in his first half of the chase run. It's now Taylor James to lead out as we take a look at the second half of the section here, and Carl Thompson, trying to put on a return serve to Taylor James, but that's going to cost him. It upsets the car, and Taylor will get the win.
It's going to get juicy indeed. I think maybe that poor qualifying, you've just figured it out and you're getting better and better.
Yeah, well, last round we put it in the wall, and we managed to do not too bad, so maybe, don't like to say it, but maybe I need to have a bit of a crash to get me on a good go, so.
Nah, don't say that. Just go get another one, all right?
Yeah, we'll give it a good go. Thank you.
All right.
Well, Taylor James looking happy there as he moves through into the top four semi-finals. As we take a look at the green room, S13 of Ben Jenkins leading out Cody Pullenburry, and Ben Jenkins was just putting in solid driving all night.
Yeah, Ben Jenkins in a borrowed car, normally behind the wheel of the 2JZ powered GT86. Now it's the little SR powered green room vodka Nissan S13.
Well, it was an OMT call from the judges for their first battle. These guys then went through to sudden death for a spot in the top four. Ben Jenkins again leading out Cody Pullenburry, putting on a pretty immaculate drive, and Cody Pullenburry though bringing that heat, that aggression in that S15 2JZ versus SR20. The little four-cylinder turbo out in front though was looking strong.
A strong drive by Ben Jenkins. It's Cody Pullenburry's turn to lead away. Jenkins really needs to close the gap, and he's doing a great job as he comes through. Is that good enough to see him go through and take the win?
So the roll keeps on going. Final four, how good is it?
It's amazing. It's amazing in this little green car of Calvin's. You know, I'm just having so much fun driving this car. It just takes me back to my old car from a couple of seasons ago. Just happy ass.
Well, do you think that might be the key though? Just have some fun.
Yeah, it always is, you know. And Cole and Calvin, that own this car, they're always having fun in this thing. So if I didn't have fun in it, they probably wouldn't let me drive it again.
Well, great stuff there from Ben Jenkins. Stick around. More D1NZ action after the break.
The latest range of ECUs from Link Engine Management have arrived, G4X. Logging across 250 channels, an increased sampling rate and more memory means you can capture more data more accurately. To see the new G4X range, visit linkecu.com.
Only a tyre should smoke. Buy all your vaping needs at nzvapor.com or in store. Find your nearest location on our website. NZ Vapor, proudly made in New Zealand since 2012.
1, 2, 3, jump!
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.
Well, welcome back to the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series. It's round number 4 from ASB Showgrounds in Auckland. It's the Gauntlet top 4 time. Here we go, Kenny.
Yeah, it is time for the top 4. It is semi-final time for Dave Steedman taking on Liam Burke and Taylor James. We'll be lining up against Ben Jenkins in that little SR20. What can Ben Jenkins pull out of the bag as we heat up here? These guys are battling for a spot in the final.
Well, it's Liam Burke who leads the way in the Kiesel Nissan S13. He's going up against the Ryco 24/7 Mimico Nissan S14 of Dave Steedman.
Dave Steedman just bouncing off the limiter. A little bit of a moment there for Dave Steedman in the chase just to try maintain angle, maintain fluidity. Liam Burke though in that 888 Kiesel flooring S13 just absolutely putting on a hella drive as Dave Steedman just tries to contend with his S14 in the chase run there, and I think he's going to get marked down. Issues here on the grid as we line up for the second pass, and that is Cole Armstrong, two-time former champion, just helping his mate out on the grid there with a bit of duct tape and getting that bumper patched up.
Well, let's see what can happen in the second half of the run with Dave Steedman and the Ryco 24/7 Mimico machine leading out the animal, Liam Burke and the Kiesel Flooring Nissan S13. It's 2JZ versus RB.
2JZ versus RB indeed, and they are bouncing off the limiter. Just love the sound of Dave Steedman's car, but check out the chase run here from Liam Burke getting right up on the door, trying to put down the angle, and a victory through to the final.
How exciting is that, buddy?
Oh, mate, Dave put a solid chase on me. I tried to get up on him. That was wicked. That was great.
Mate, your chase here in this first second, that was eye-popping.
Yeah, I think we can still get a tiny bit closer. There's more in the tank. I just got to get there.
Well, you're in the big one now.
Yeah, battle for first and second, isn't it?
Yes.
Sweet. All right, we'll see who we're up against. I can't wait.
Oh, the laid-back styles of Liam Burke as we go to the second half of the semi-final. It's the Green Room Vodka Nissan S13 of Ben Jenkins, and he's getting chased down by the Roundwood New Zealand Nissan S14 of the championship leader, Taylor James.
Taylor James just getting up on the concrete there. You'll see the bumper dragging off the car. But look at this lead run here from Ben Jenkins, putting on a pretty good drive so far in that Green Room S13. A shallower run there. Taylor James just dipping in as Ben Jenkins tags the wall. Action aplenty in the semi-finals here. Taylor James trying to get some championship points here and maybe get through to the final, but check out the chase run straight out of the start gate from Ben Jenkins, right there lurking off the rear quarter and filling that outer zone.
Ben Jenkins, a borrowed car, but driving like he stole it, getting in, tucking in, and he's grabbing that proximity right on the bumper now. There's a couple of turns to go here at the ASB Showgrounds round 4 the Gauntlet. Can Ben Jenkins do it, Kenny?
Oh, I think he's done enough. I think that's going to push him through to the final.
Hey, you just taken out the championship leader. How good does that feel?
God, this car's good. Me and Calvin are going to have to figure out a deal. We're going to do it the next round, I reckon. But no, amazing. Taylor's a really good driver. This car is just, it's just doing really well. So it was just good to be able to keep up with these big boys on these big semis. But it's perfectly suited this car.
Well, you're racing for the title. I'm going to let you go and collect yourself. I don't think you need to be collected, though, do you?
No, we're all right. We'll just go have a cup of water and we'll get back out there, Steve.
Mate, it's one of those nights. You're knocking off all the big boys. You're the fourth.
Yeah, that's it, eh? No, it was a good battle. Ben definitely deserves that. He's driving the pants off that little 13. But, yeah, I guess we just changed my tyres. It, seemed to lack a bit of grip. But, no, we'll lower the pressures a bit and, we'll be back out there again.
3, 2, 1.
Well, it's the battle of third and fourth. The man who leads the championship, Taylor James, is chasing down Dave Steedman and the Ryco 24/7 Mimico S14.
Oh, tagging the wall is Taylor James again. Bumper off the car though this time round. Taylor trying to recover out of there as they switch under the Toyota's Gazoo Racing underpass. But look at this fluid drive here from Dave Steedman, trying to fend off an attack from the championship leader. Steedman stacking on the angle. Flames are plenty, but look at the proximity for Taylor James. He is hungry to get a third place trophy as we take a look at the NZ Vapor replay.
Taylor James starts off by grinding the concrete. That's when saw a slight mistake. Let's have a look at the second half of the battle. Taylor James in the Roundwood New Zealand Nissan S14. It's a pair of S14s. This time it's Dave Steedman in the second of the Team DSR entries, chasing him down.
Dave Steedman will be looking for a little bit of a trophy as well after mechanical dramas all season long. He had a great drive in the opening round at Teretonga, but now Taylor James leading him out. Can Taylor, oh, check out the wide line from Dave Steedman, grinding the wall on that outer zone, and I think that might bode him some favour here. Has Dave Steedman just done enough to push through and take third place on the podium?
Well, third step on the podium, how does that feel?
I'm really wrapped with that, to be honest. Messy battle, not as good as earlier battles, but hey, look, I'll take it for sure.
Mate, you're supposed to say, I'm happy as.
I'm having fun, that's for sure.
Mate, it's been good to watch. Well placed.
3, 2.
Well, great stuff from Dave Steedman, taking the third spot on the podium, and we are now into the final. It's round 4 of the Valvoline D1NZ here at ASB Showgrounds.
Well, the keys will measure up flooring. The animal Liam Burke leads out Ben Jenkins. Ben Jenkins, normally the Toyotas galore. This time, the Green Room Vodka Green Machine. Liam, though, is starting to form a gap. Here comes Ben closing up.
Oh, Ben Jenkins just getting a wheel-to-wheel contact through the end of the section here. What a drive from Ben Jenkins, that little SR20.
3, 2, 1.
Well, the second half of the final. Round 4, the Gauntlet, ASB Showgrounds, Auckland, and it's Ben Jenkins who leads them out. Liam Burke doing a great job closing up that proximity, really tucking down in there as they switch under the $300,000 TRS racing car.
The Green Room Vodka S13 just getting out to those outer clips, and look at this though, a really great lead line here from Ben Jenkins, opening the door for Liam Burke to put in a return serve. I tell you what, I think this could go to an OMT.
As we look at the judges' score, Mark O'Hara says Liam Burke, OMT, that's Ross Honour. We get to go battling again, Kenny.
Well, it is going to be a sudden death matchup for the final here at round 4. On the line, Liam Burke and Ben Jenkins, a pair of S13s, a 2JZ out in front, SR20 power in behind.
Well, you wanted the best, you've got them two abreast. It's Liam Burke who leads out. He's on his way to try and chase a championship. Ben Jenkins just wants another round win. Who is going to take the victory?
Liam Burke putting on some really good big swinging lines here out in the front, but look at this attack from Ben Jenkins again through the second half of the section, trying to get a wheel up on that passenger door. And what a drive from Ben Jenkins.
3, 2, 1.
Well, the last pass of round 4, the Gauntlet from ASB Showgrounds. Ben Jenkins, he's got the bit between the teeth. Liam Burke, look how close he's getting, Kenny.
Yeah, Liam Burke just put on a really aggressive close proximity chase straight out of the start gate. Switching through under the Toyota Gazoo Racing underpass through the live-wire audio-visual outer clips as they switch on through here, the final turn. A wheel drop for Liam, is that going to hurt him, or has he got enough points in the bag to take this sudden death matchup and take the victory here at round 4? NZ Vapor replay, and this is that close proximity chase. It was a high fluidity, high angle run, a wheel off, a penalty perhaps for Liam Burke, but I think he has done enough here to claw the points back and take victory here for round 4 of the Valvoline D1NZ.
Well, what a drive by Liam Burke. The animal gets up on the roof of his car. There is your round 4 winner from ASB Showgrounds, Valvoline D1NZ.
Hey, Liam, congratulations. You won the Gauntlet, buddy.
Yeah, you certainly made me work for it. That was insane.
Mate, you said to me all night you could get closer and you could get closer and get closer. Did you get close enough?
Yeah, in a few spots, yeah, I think so.
Ben, this has been a hell of a night for you. I mean, how do you explain this one?
There's not really many things to say apart from thanks to Calvin Clark and his little Green Room S13. It's an amazing little car. It's obviously sort of defied the odds, you know, that little car here at this track. So, no, I'm just happy, you know, I've had a whole lot of fun. Liam, that was an amazing 2 battles with Liam there, door on door. Gave me some good nudges. It was real cool. And no, just real stoked, real happy, and happy for all Calvin sponsors to be able to put that car up there.
Well, Ben Jenkins takes second spot on the podium alongside Dave Steedman in third. And it is none other than Northland's Liam Burke taking the top step on the podium, his first ever victory in the Pro Championship Series.
Well, action on and off the track here. ASB Showgrounds, the Gauntlet, round 4 of the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship. Our winner, Liam Burke, and he has really put a foot forward to try and claim a championship. He's got Taylor James in front. This is the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series.
Valvoline Easy Pour. No mess, no worries.